Disclaimer: the following narrative is based on open source reports and public claims.
What does it really mean when new fighter jets are delivered in the middle of an ongoing war? When Rostec, through United Aircraft Corporation, sends another batch of Sukhoi Su-35S to the Russian military, this isn't just another routine update. It's a signal that despite sanctions, pressure, and a prolonged conflict, one thing is still running without stopping: the war machine. And now the real question becomes bigger. Is this a sign of growing strength, or a sign that losses need to be continuously replaced? Let's get into the core of it. The Su-35S is often described as one of the most dangerous fighter jets in its class. With long-range radar, extreme maneuverability, and the ability to carry advanced missiles, it looks like the perfect air dominance platform on paper. But what happens when that theory meets reality in Ukraina? Can a jet this advanced actually operate freely, or is it forced to adapt to a much more complex battlefield? This is where things start to shift. Many people still imagine air combat as close-range dogfights, high-speed chases, and intense maneuvers. But that's not how the Su-35S is being used here. Instead, it often acts like a long-range shooter. It doesn't need to be seen. It doesn't need to get close. It locks on from a distance, launches its missile, and exits before the threat gets too close. This isn't a duel anymore. It's more like a hunt carried out from far away. So the question is, does this still count as air dominance? Or does it reveal a limitation? The reason behind this shift is hard to ignore. Ukraine has built a layered air defense environment that makes the sky extremely dangerous. Systems like the Patriot missile system create threat zones that force aircraft to think twice before entering. Now imagine the situation from a pilot's perspective. You're flying one of the most advanced fighters available, but you still have to keep your distance. So who really controls the skies? The one with the aircraft, or the one controlling the airspace? What makes this even more interesting is that the Su-35S never truly operates alone. In modern warfare, no system stands by itself. When it escorts aircraft like the Sukhoi Su-34, or operates under the protective umbrella of systems like the S-400, you start to see the bigger picture. This is a network. Ground radar, drones, air defense systems, and fighter jets, all connected into one structure. So now the question changes again. It's no longer about how powerful one aircraft is, but how strong the entire system behind it really is. On the other side, the response from NATO adds another layer to this conflict. They're not directly entering the battlefield. There are no NATO jets engaging Russian aircraft head-on, but their presence is still felt. Through air defense systems, intelligence sharing, and advanced technology, Ukraine is able to track and respond more effectively. So here's the bigger question. Is this still just a two-country war? Or has it become a much larger strategic game happening behind the scenes? The impact is becoming more visible over time. With improved radar and detection systems, the airspace is no longer a place of freedom. It's a space of constant risk. Even an advanced jet like the Su-35S has to operate with extreme caution. Every mission becomes a calculation. Every movement carries potential consequences. At this point, air warfare turns into a risk game. And the one who takes the wrong step could lose a critical asset in seconds. Then comes a development that could shift the balance even further. Western fighter jets like the F-16 Fighting Falcon are starting to enter the equation. This is not just reinforcement, it's a potential turning point. For the first time, Ukraine may have the ability not only to defend, but to challenge in the air. But here's the real question. Will that be enough to counter a system that's already been built and tested? Or will it simply add another layer of complexity to an already complicated war? In the end, the delivery of the Su-35S is not just about adding more aircraft. It reflects how this war is evolving. Russia continues to sustain its military capacity. Ukraine continues to strengthen its defenses with external support. And NATO remains in a very calculated position, close enough to influence, but far enough to avoid direct conflict. So everything comes back to one final question. This is no longer about who is the strongest in the sky. It's about who can endure the longest in a war defined by pressure, risk, and constant change.